Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. It is now basically just been swallowed up by Wheel of Time content, and I'm not really mad about it. I recently reviewed episodes 1 through 3 of season 2 of the Wheel of Time series on Prime. This adaptation has had its ups and downs. I think kind of a rough start with season 1, but season 2 is giving me hope. And now I will be reviewing episode 4. And I have a lot of positives to say about this episode. It's going in a better direction for me. It feels like the plot is moving on. I had a commenter say on my last video about the show that it kind of felt like pieces were being moved, but the story wasn't really going somewhere. There wasn't like a natural flow of plot, which makes sense. But this one feels a little bit better as like the characters have been moved in the right places and now they're starting on their little adventure. It's just a list of kind of random thoughts of things. I liked the stuff with Moiraine's younger sister, who you kind of get to see the dynamic of. She's her younger sister, but she looks a lot older because she cannot channel, so she didn't go to the tower, she didn't go through the process of becoming an Aes Sedai like Moiraine did. Her own sister has her own spies, is kind of doing a Blue Aja thing without being able to channel, and finds out that Moiraine is looking for Rand, and kind of tries to convince her to sit down and have tea with her, or else her sister won't inform her where Rand is. But while Moiraine is there, she actually has her own interaction with Logain after Rand has spoken with Logain, and she basically says, you need to teach him how to channel. One thing I don't like, and I just really need Moiraine and Lan to get their crap together. I feel like Lan is going to go after her. I feel like they should be together for a little bit longer. Their weird separation is just strange to me. It's just not, I don't care. I feel like they're being a little bit childish. Because a lot of the time Lan doesn't know what Moiraine has up her sleeve, but he's okay with it as her warder. Like, that happens all the time where he's just like, I don't know, but I'm just following along. But not because he's dumb, but because he trusts her. I just think it betrays their relationship a little bit to have them fighting at the very beginning and then just be separated. So hopefully he goes after her. It kind of gives the sense that he wants to and that he will, but we'll see. There's a scene where Liandrin visits the Keeper, who is basically the Amyrlin's right-hand girl. And the way she talks to the Keeper about the Amyrlin, about like the potential of her falling, is so direct and disrespectful that I feel surprised that even Liandrin would say it. It would just be a bad political move in my like understanding of the Aes Sedai world and of the White Tower. But she does. She basically like threatens her indirectly, but directly enough for it to be like a bad idea. Elise and Perrin are together. There's a scene where the wolves find a deer, they eat it. Perrin's cooking part of the deer because he eats cooked meat. Elias is eating raw flesh, and I don't remember that in the books being a thing. Elias seemed more, I don't know, just more tame than that. But I think it's interesting to see what Perrin's afraid of becoming a wolf brother, like that he doesn't want to lose control of himself that way. But then Perrin is introduced to Hopper, one of the wolves, who basically says, hey, this is my name, this is who I am. And it's kind of cool to see that bond forming. I love Hopper, I love the wolves. Nynaeve is struggling with her struggles after being through the Arches. She basically lived years in there with a child and a life, and even though the sense of that reality is fading, she's never going to forget it. She and Liandrin have a very heartfelt conversation, and then when Nynaeve goes to bring Egwene and, against her wishes, Elaine to help save Perrin and Loial, they are attacked by Liandrin, who seems actually quite sorrowful about it. She talks about her son in a previous scene, and then later channels, I think, air at them, kind of knocks them out. Liandrin basically says that the 3 oaths bind us to speak truth to others, but not to ourselves. So a lot about being in denial to yourself and having this duality and struggling with the life you could have had as an Aes Sedai. There's also a bit where it's mentioned that Liandrin has promised to take Min's visions away, and it shows this kind of nightmare of Min having to being forced to use her visions to tell people's futures, but their futures are not always good, and it's not always that she can be like read people's palms and find out like who they'll end up with. But it's like, if you're gonna die a certain way, she's potentially gonna see that about you, and she doesn't see things about everyone all the time, but powerful people she does. Seems like she's trying to get rid of that, as it has been a weight on her shoulders, which is an interesting concept for Min, because I can see her being brave and actually holding on to that, and it seems like she has a tie to Matt and she doesn't want Matt to get hurt. I like their little friendship that they're getting. And then there's the stuff with Sarene. It gets a little bit better here for me, where it's less about their weird physical relationship, even though that's still prevalent, and more about her manipulating him. You get the sense of her talking about the power he can wield and not letting anyone control you, and sort of defying the wheel in a sense, in the way that it's, as it turns, like taking up your own destiny. And she's very much like, you could have glory and power in the books, and it fits here that she's doing that to him. There was this like opening scene with Shamael sort of creating a being, bringing someone to life in a sense. You find out it's him breaking the seal to free Lanfear, who's been masquerading around as Sarene. And Rand can understand the concept of the Forsaken, but he does not know that Sarene is Lanfear. While I don't love how adult their relationship is, I do think it's getting, like, it got a little bit more, you see her manipulation, because he is young and still quite naive, and she treats him like a man, and he appreciates that. The final scene where she's tying him up, she's like, I'm a monster too. And that's when Moiraine breaks in, as Lanfear is about to do whatever she's about to do. And Moiraine stabs Lanfear and kills her. So Moiraine saves Rand, which is really cool. I liked the timing of the scene. And then there's like, she's a Forsaken. Her name's actually Lanfear. She's been manipulating you. And Rand's like, you're lying. Her name's Sarene. And Moiraine says, she's been lying to you, which I never can. Which is just so cool with the oaths and stuff. Like, Moraine's like, let me remind you, I cannot lie. I can skirt around the truth a little bit, but I'm being direct with you. You know, like, this is Lanfear. She's a Forsaken. Servant of the Dark One. Like, you should be afraid. I thought that was cool. So, I want to see Moiraine and Rand interact more. And I appreciated Moiraine having like something she was actually going toward, other than just fighting with Lan. And being like stressed about things. I just like it. I don't know. So that's where it ends, which I thought was exciting, and a lot of them are headed to Thalm, and excited to see where that takes them with the Seanchan and everything. It just felt like momentum was happening, but not much was being betrayed as far as the books to this adaptation. And a lot of people have said you can't really enjoy this unless you consider it an inspiration over an adaptation. And I kind of agree with that, but there's a lot of heart of the characters that is being maintained, and that's what's important to me. And where it's not being like totally held sacredly, I guess, I am okay with where it's gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking around for these videos. I love talking about the Wheel of Time. I love being invested in this world, and yeah, thank you guys. See you later.